Hi guys, it is 1:59 p.m. on Monday. I believe the 146th day I'm doing this. Here is your daily dose of hope. And I am definitely in a state of metamorphosis. But I wanted to share some things that I've learned, like as I'm going through things, patterns that I default to that I want to change. And one of them is my default has been to twist myself to try to fit certain things. Like if someone's not, whatever the situation, if they're not like pulling their weight, my default is to make up for it and like over function. And in the moment, I don't notice that it affects me, but it does affect me, right? And it does wear me down. And it's just frankly not fair. So I'm facing the feeling, facing the fear of the feeling that if I don't overfunction, I will never, like, no one's going to meet me where I'm actually at. Like, as if I have to overfunction in order to fit in or something. Another thing is I am using my planner, and the one I got, I really like it. I tried not to stress too much about a specific planner, and I just thought, well, what feels decent? And I mean, ideally, I'd like to get like a smaller one, but actually, this is better for me. It's just more of for space. But what I like about it is I've learned my brain likes when like the numbers, like the time is actually just written down, and it says like priorities, 3 priorities, your agenda. It's got wellness reminders at the bottom. It says evening here, but this is actually where I do my meal planning, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also like that on this side it says next week. So the last week of the month, the last day of the week, it will actually say like next week. So you can get like a preview. And then it's got a monthly layout as well. And then it has, let's see, the monthly layout. And then down here it has tracker, you know? And then also, I'm trying to find what it's not like written on. It's actually got, like at the beginning of the month, it's got monthly focus, action. So it's got a lot of features that I'm not using just yet, but I'm glad they're there because, I can always expand into that. And it's really helping my brain, like tremendously. So that's exciting. Also, I read this thing even today. It just happened to be in my inbox, and it was talking about focus. And it was saying how we were actually designed to have 90 to 120 minutes of focus and then rest. So that's helping me. They talked about the rhythm of our brain. And that's helping me to be like, okay, so that actually is way more effective and efficient to just devote, an hour to whatever than to do a little here, little here, little here, little here, little here all the time. And that makes sense because I also know every time we switch tasks, it takes mental energy to switch, and then it takes mental energy to come back to what we're doing, which is why when we get interrupted, it's like, what? It's not even the interruption, it's the mental bandwidth to have to switch and then come back and like, okay, what was I doing? And just kind of, I think, knowing that is just draining energy that we didn't really have, we couldn't really afford to lose at the moment. Today's quote says, the most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They are felt with the heart. And that reminds me of the Winnie the Pooh quote, which is, Piglet asks Pooh, how do you spell love? And he says, you don't spell love, you feel it, So it's it's been interesting for me because I have been doing my non-negotiables, and I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, but I told myself, if you wake up before the alarm, turn on meditations. So I actually ended up doing, I think I've done, let's see, like 5 meditations. I started dancing in the morning when possible. So today is day 4 of that, and that's been really good. Even though like my back was hurting this morning, my brain was hurting, my heart was kind of hurting. But I realized it's important to do these things, especially, when we're not feeling the best, to see if that makes a positive impact, Because as I've always said, I certainly can pull through for stuff I have to get done, but I've never pulled through for like self-care or something where it's like, well, maybe that actually would be good for me. And even if I don't feel any better afterwards, it's like at least I did something good for my body, right? But actually, it's really good for my mind. And yeah, so I'm still forming my like morning routine because I definitely have like responsibilities. But it's helping me kind of carve out like who am I and what makes me happy, basically. That's what it kind of boils down to. Like, what enriches my life that I can do now, like right now, with the tools I have. Because if it was like, actually, there's nothing you can do and you just sort of have to get through the day every day, I could do that, but I don't want to do that. And the facts are that I've actually gotten a lot done productivity-wise, but in a very flow state, which is always exciting. And just seeing how, okay, this is like a positive momentum. Like this is like an upward, cycle. And there were some feelings I didn't really want to necessarily admit to feeling. But I did, to myself. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You do feel frustrated. Okay. What can you do about it, And it's just amazing for me because it's like I'm like the epitome of the Chumbawamba song. Like I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. And again, I don't mean like when I get knocked down, I'm absolutely helpless. I mean more of like, I guess if someone was like, that they really, really, really more than anything wanted to have a business of their own, right? And that's what their heart's desire was. They would just keep going for it, right? And then even if the business failed, they would open another business because that's what they want to do. That's how I feel about feeling good in my body and feeling safe and feeling happy. It's like this is something I'm willing to put a whole bunch of effort and am putting a whole bunch of effort into. Because ultimately I deserve that, And I deserve to do what's in my power every day to be as genuinely and naturally happy as I can be so that I can shine that, to the world. But it takes dedication, it takes focus, it takes grit, it takes commitment, it takes planning, it takes all that. But for me, it's worth it. And one thing that's really helping me is to tell myself, like when my back was hurting, I'm like, should I really dance? And I thought, well, do your dancing, at least try it. Like if you're in like massive pain, obviously don't. But like maybe your body's just rusty, like waking up. Drink a ton of water, you know what I mean? Take a shower. And if you still feel like the day's a wash, at least you've gotten that done for yourself. And I've never done that before, guys. Like I've always been like, if there's time, I'll do something for myself on some level. Like maybe I'll take a shower, But I don't need to do that anymore. So, and I'm seeing the effect, like the cumulative effect. It's so funny because we'll talk all the time about the negative cumulative effect of things, but we need to realize there can be a positive cumulative effect of things. All these things add up, you know? And I just feel really good right now. Like I feel really good. And I did my energy work. And I just felt much more clear-headed, and like when the worries would come in, it was like, okay, but you're going to be in a better position to handle those things if they happen, if you're doing the bare minimum, you know, for yourself. And I believe I've kept to my goal of turning on a meditation before 9, you know, and yeah, I'm still tweaking everything because my daughter is back. A lot's going on, but it does feel good to be like, okay, this is something you can do. And I've always said this, you know, in my videos, like timers are our best friends, because we can easily underestimate how much we can get done in like an hour. And what I've noticed for myself is it's easier to get my nervous system on board if I tell myself, like that's what I did this morning actually. I had done like 5 meditations, but still when it was time to get up, it was like, and I said, okay, I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes. You don't have to get up in 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to stand up, meaning for the next 5 minutes, all you need to do is stand up. So it's like you take the pressure off, but you give a very specific goal. And I felt the pressure like melting of like, oh, I can stand up, you know? And so I literally like swung my legs over and I breathed, even though it was counterintuitive, but I was like, facts are you've got like time. It just feels like you don't because of things, but you do. And it's just amazing when we do these little like micro things, like micro respect to ourselves. Again, it's a cumulative effect. So my daughter's about to be off of school, and I'm also making a list of like things she can help out with that are like certainly age appropriate, maybe even lower, but like things that she can do independently that I can tell if they've been done, so I don't have to waste mental energy being like, did she actually do it or not? And that help out, you know, because there's no reason not to. And yeah, I'm really proud of myself because the facts are I've done hours of work today, like hours of mindset work. But I don't regret it, you know? And it's really helping things come together for me mentally and emotionally. So, that being said, just remember you are the sky, and you were here yesterday, you're here today, and you will be here tomorrow, and you deserve to be here every single day. And I would also say you deserve to fight internal and external battles to take care of yourself. And what I mean is, you know, if you're finding you don't even think you have time, or like you're worth taking a shower or like brushing your hair, I completely understand. But that's like a trauma response typically. But it's not true. And honestly, those things will actually make a difference, you know? I'm just now getting back into that because I'm just now starting to get a bit of energy at the moment, you know? But I'm telling myself, you are still going to bed. Like tonight, I will still have that meditation on before 9. And I'm telling myself, worst case scenario, I have extra energy. But what I did in the past is if I had any energy, I would burn through it. And that does not work for my situation. I don't like that. I need to learn to keep gas in the car, like gas in the tank. Because you never know when you're going to need that little extra bit. I think that's going to help a lot of the kind of like Mayday feeling because it'll be like when unexpected things happen, I'll be able to handle them because I'm not already at the end of my capability for that day, you know? So, that being said, I love you guys and have an awesome day.